YouTube friends! I'm so glad to be back. I'm Katie. This is the Rhymes with Stitch channel, and today we're gonna catch up. It's been a while. We had some crazy COVID times that kind of took up some space, but it did allow me to get a lot of stuff done. So I don't know if you can see the pile. So much to show you guys. I think you'll be surprised. So yeah, happy 2022. I hope Christmas was awesome. Thanksgiving was I'm sorry, bad friend. I didn't check in on you, but I'm glad you're here now. So, you know, it's cold, it's awful outside, but I'm alone in the house. The boys are at school, so we are just gonna sit down and share some time together because we can. So grab, you know, like a beverage, do something while I blather on here and show you all my goodies, and yeah, we'll just pass some time together because it's fun. Why not, right? So I have actually not purchased any yarn and fun things lately. My room is starting to get a little full, so we're on a mission to like finish things that I've had available to me but not done yet. So yeah, I'll show you. I actually finished a bunch of things. I'm going to continue doing stuff with what I have so that I make room for more things. You guys will have to keep me honest on that. We'll see. So last time we talked, I showed you a second habitation throw I started. Again, it's like a really fun little pattern to use with minis or scraps, you know, because we're trying to use all of our stuff, right? So when I talked to you last, I believe, looking back, I was like way over, I was over here. Like, yeah, we were in the autumn colors. Remember, we were so happy because it was fall. Well, now it's winter. So I finished it all. It turned out to be such a nice size. And now I have two of these. My boys kind of fight over them at night and kind of each can have one, which was really the point anyway, is that everyone gets something fun to snuggle in. But I really like it. It's all yarn from Dragon Hoard Yarn Co. That is her name. I'll try to remember to link her below. She was one of the first dyers that I bought like hand dyed yarn from, because again, being self-taught, I didn't even know that was a thing. You know, I just went to Joann's and bought whatever was in that aisle and didn't know that people use like really cool bases and, you know, dyed with all these fun colors and put everything together, speckles and all that. So she was one of the first people I was like, okay, I'll try it, and it was so good. I remember trying to use every single ounce of like I think I bought 2 skeins from hers. Still one of my favorite colors ever. She doesn't even dye it anymore. I wish she did. It was so good. But I'll try to remember and bring that next time. It was really funny because it just got me addicted to all this hand dyed yarn. It's so fun. Like every color is so neat. I don't know if you can see, like, they're just really fun. Yeah, I don't really like making sweaters with them anymore. They do kind of get difficult when you're trying to make a garment because every skein is so unique and maybe not, you know, it's not gonna match exactly. You can really see where it cuts off. So I like using them for other projects now, but yeah, lesson learned. I think it turned out great, right? So good. Yeah, and I finished a sweater. It's not even in my pile. That's how long I have to go get that. Okay, I'll take a break and go get that sweater. I did finish it. Ready? Break. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I did have to go grab it. And I'm already a liar because I used hand-dyed yarn, as I said. But I'll show you how I got around that problem I just mentioned, because I bought this last Christmas. This colorway is called Blueberry Muffin. So fun, right? Look at all those speckles, guys. This is Yarn Cafe Creations. That's her yarn. And I made a little love note sweater for my niece. And it was such a happy colorway, making that tiny sweater. It just made me really glad. You know, like, who liked 2020? It was the worst. But that yarn was just like a breath of sunshine, right? So I splurged and got myself a sweater quantity. And So can you see? This is the sweater. I guess I should have worn it today. That's it. Yay. It's the Wednesday sweater by Petite Knit. I love her patterns so much. I think this is probably the 4th thing I've made that she designed. You should look her up. Her designs are really classic. This one, of course, I made a little more fun with this colorway. But she inspires me to make like garments that look like you'd want to buy them in a store. You know, they're really classic and they're just beautiful. Beautiful. So I'll be making something of hers, I'm sure, soon. But yeah, so what I did, I don't know, can you see in the neckline here? Do you see how the purple kind of came around every time I went around this neck here and pooled, right? It formed like this line. And that is what you don't want, unless that's your intention, is to kind of catch that color together. But hand-dyed has a tendency to do that, because as it's laying in that pan and they dye the color, it comes around in that same area every time. So as you knit a tube, you're going to kind of, those colors tend to like draw together. So I used Helical Knitting, and you can probably look that up on YouTube. That's where I found something about it. And you basically use 2 balls at once, so that you knit a row with 1 ball, and then you kind of stop a little short, slip a few stitches, and start that 2nd ball. And so they're off enough that all the colors mix up instead of coming together. And that saves you from getting like a big line, you know, where 1 ball was like a little, just a touch lighter of a blue, and you can see like this large chunk here. So that's what I did, and I think it worked really well. It's the first time I've tried that kind of knitting. It was a bit of, it was troublesome, because you have 2 balls plus mohair. So it's like 6 things sitting around you, so you couldn't really take it anywhere and do it. I didn't love that part, but I guess if I was using something that didn't have that many different balls in the air, then it would have been fine. But the actual process of helical knitting was really simple. You should look it up. It was great. If you're worried about something like this happening on any project, I think you can use it, and it helped. It saved me. And that was a new thing I learned when I did the sweater. So, you know, new things are fun. We learn something all the time. I don't know about you, but I do not have it all figured out yet. I'm trying. And I also finished this blanket. I don't know if you remember Nature's Palette by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern. I bought their bundle because this is my favorite yarn of theirs, the linen quill. So I hope you can see the blanket. And it actually is a seed stitch. So can you see like the texture? It is so beautiful. I'm so glad I made it. I think it's really gonna just, as you use it more, like it gets softer and it just looks really pretty. All the colors are so great. I don't know, I'm proud I made it. It was awful. Seed stitch is like the worst. I don't know if you remember last time I was like, I'm never making anything like this again. I hate every stitch because it is a pain. You're going knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then the next row is purl, knit, and it just takes forever. But it's so pretty. And so when I finished it, I fell in love so much that, yeah, I bought another one. Not this. They made another pattern using linen quill and a seed stitch. But instead of going across the blanket and making your stripes this way, they have you knit the blanket like the long way. So it's even worse because each row is like double what this was. But it's gonna be so pretty. I'll show you. I have like a hunk started because you can't stop. It's so pretty. If they just stopped making beautiful things, then that would really help me out. Can you see how much I have already? See? It's going like into this peachy color. This one has like warmer tones in it. It's gonna have this really neat like flamingo pink like blip in it. Oh, this would be so good, you guys. You just gotta keep plugging away at it. Like whenever you don't know what to work on, you should have a project like that. You're like, oh, fine, I'll put more stitches on it because we all need it, right? And then I did some quilting. I did quilting. This was just scraps and 2 mask panels. So I don't know if you know what panels are, but think of like you have that fabric, right? And they print things on it that you're supposed to cut around. So maybe like it's a big picture of a woodland scene, or maybe it's little blocks that are supposed to be cut up and kind of featured, like little prints in them. Or some people do like dolls. You can cut out the pieces of this whole fabric and sew them together. They're really neat. You can go on spoonflower.com and find all kinds of different panels. These were really popular mask panels, so you're supposed to cut the bits out and make masks from them. I'll show you on the back. I kept one of them intact so you could see the craziness of what I started with. So here, can you see the mask panel, kind of like that? And you cut out those bits and make, you know, face masks. I did not want to make face masks. I wanted to make this crazy remembrance of this time that we're in, and the idea came straight from, I don't know her name, her handle is Quilt for Co. She does a lot of like improv piecing and really beautiful, solid, I mean, she's amazing. You should follow her tomorrow, like so good. And she did this quilt, and it's just a log cabin. She cut up those panels and just did whatever came to her. I do not typically improv piece or just grab colors. I'm really anal retentive about my quilting. I like just the right pieces and just the right way. So I kind of agonize a bit too much to enjoy just randomly throwing things together. I could probably let it go and just try to not be so weird, but I do, that's me. But I did have fun, and I got to use a lot of my scraps. So I just grabbed, I have a pile, you know, this high of just solids that I've collected over the years and used bits of, and so I just grabbed those out and chopped them up. And I even used scraps for the back, so large pieces that I'm never going to put in any other quilt. I just kind of threw into the back of this. So I'm so proud. I used such a ton of things that I've had sitting around, and it was a good feeling, you know, like when you get some of this stuff out, you hold on to bits, and I do use them, but man, they stack up faster than I can go through them. So this was a good project for that. If you're looking for something, just, I say go grab 2 panels or 2 anything and chop them up and just pair them with whatever scraps you want. It doesn't even have to be solids. It could be, I could have used 1,000 other things. Could have made this, you know, California king with all my scraps. I'll show you what I got. So here's the quilt, and it's just a scrappy little log cabin. I think it turned out super fun. Yeah? I'm pretty proud. And again, that's Quilt for Co. That was her idea. I thought it was such a fun way to just keep a piece of this time that hopefully 20 years from now, everyone will go, wait, what happened? And we'll reminisce, and I'll tell them all about it. Yeah, I hand stitched it. I did that because I went and visited my grandmother, who is in a nursing home, and she, of course, is the one that quilted so much when I was younger and kind of got me interested in making those beautiful pieces that she makes. So I brought this to work on while I visited with her, and it was so great. Like she's doing really well. Like she's very healthy, but she kind of loses track in conversation or doesn't want to talk as much sometimes when everyone's there. So as I talked to my parents, she just watched me stitch and seemed to like really enjoy that. And I loved it because of course, you know, she taught me what the heck to do with these. And so she always likes to see my quilts and so quilting. The mailman's here. Just me and the dog. Let's see if he'll stop. The mailman has such a unique sounding motor, like you can tell exactly when it's the mailman. Now he's standing at the door like, come on, she just dropped it off, let's go. Nothing good's coming. Like I said, I stopped ordering all the fun stuff. Nothing good's in the mailbox. Like, he's really mad because now we don't rush out there to get anything. But anyway, this was a really fun one, and I hope you just go and grab something out of your stash and throw it together. I just made strips, 2.5 inch strips. You start in the center, and they do, like, log cabin blocks are supposed to, like, traditionally have red or yellow centers to kind of signify, you know, the home, the light always being on, or the, you know, earth fire, that kind of thing. So I did just grab from the panel any kind of like reds, any red bit, and that's what I put in the centers. So that, you know, was a little nod to the past. I like that. Yeah, you know, keep it modern, but quilting's such an art from long ago. You gotta kind of keep pieces too. So, and the back is just a mess. I almost like the back better. It's such ugly, horrible. Look at that. It took so long to figure out where things should go on the back. Again, I'm a crazy person, and so you lay them out and you're like, this is never gonna go together into anything. Slowly you build it out. It was interesting. I could see doing that for other quilts, like making a pieced back and getting rid of hunks of yarn over there, but it took some time to figure that out. Oh. Anyway, that's the end of the things I've finished. So, no, it's not. Oh my gosh, you guys. I just saw it in the corner of the screen there. Okay, I have a quilt, a giant quilt that I started when we moved here. So that was what, 3 years ago. And you made these bias strips, and I'll show you the quilt. But anyway, I was making the pieces. I made all the blocks, and then we got this puppy. He was a puppy. And as I was laying out all the pieces, he would walk across all of them. I could not plan it out at all. And you know, you can't wrangle a puppy. Like, he's not gonna listen or like stay back. So I basically just threw all these in a corner, frustratingly. I was like, I'll see you later. And so I came back to it. Again, I didn't want to buy new fabric without kind of finishing things. And this has been, you know, eyeing me in the corner, forlorn, because I wouldn't work on it. So I finally picked it back up, and it took like 2 days to actually put the top together. That's how close I was to finishing this quilt. Tell me someone else has done this, right? Like where you have almost everything done and you didn't finish it. Oh, it's king size, so I don't, you know, it's huge. It's so big. I love the back though. Isn't that pretty? It's got like hummingbirds on it. I love it. I love a crazy backing. So here's the quilt. Oh. Can you see? It's supposed to be like a double wedding ring quilt. You guys remember those? Usually they're pieced rings. Let's see if I can find a full circle. There it is. So they're usually pieced like this, you know, are pieces that all fit together and make double rings. And so this one kind of took out bits, and it made this bias tape that you kind of bent around and appliqued to make the blocks. And it was just really pretty and clean. And I don't have anything this white, honestly, so I thought it would look very nice, and it finished up so pretty. I just did a spiral where I started in one of the centers of a ring and kind of just spiraled out all the way. I really like that for kind of like it disappears, you know, you just see like overall coverage, and it kind of keeps everything really secure. So hopefully, you know, it'll last a really long time and be in good shape. So yeah, very nice. I did have to go all the way back. In this pattern, she used really wide binding. Like she cut her strips 4.5 inches. I've never done that. It looked pretty on the quilt. Like it almost matched the size of these bias strips, right? Except it went all the way around. So I tried. I cut out those strips and I made my, you know, binding tape, and I put it all the way around the quilt. And then I started hand sewing it. I hand finished my binding. I just like it better. I don't like that second line when you come back around and put it on. So let's see if you can see, like mine's just straight across, and I finish it on the back. So I went along the back, right, all along one of these giant 102-inch sides, and I came upon a corner, and that's when I realized that I had sewn all of them on incorrectly for wide binding, and it was going to make these weird floppy messes at every corner. You can't fix it because it's in the center of this long string of bias tape. It was just, so I had to go and undo all of it. I literally picked it all off of my quilt, cut all of the binding to the size that I normally make it, put it all back on, and then sewed it down. I don't know if you guys are in the camp where you would have left it and just made ugly corners. don't know. I always go back and fix things. That's just how I am. Like if you're gonna take 30 hours and make a quilt, you know, what's another 4 taking it apart and making it right? I don't know. I'd just rather it be right. So I did it. I took it back and it turned out pretty. And now no one will know. Well, you'll know because I told you. Shh. But I messed it up. It was worth it. I think it's worth it to go back. I don't know. What would you do? Do you just leave it? No one would know. No one would ever look at the corner. Some great-great-grandchild would be like, what'd you do here? That's wrong. No, no one knows. But it would have bothered me forever. Every time I used it, I'd go, ugh, look at that corner. I don't know. I do put labels on my quilts. Just like name where I am in the year. Unless I make it for someone, I put that there too. But I'm hoping someday it'll make sense, you know, when you're going through a pile of quilts. I tried a long time ago to make my grandma put dates on her quilts and her name because, you know, we don't know when she made them or why, and she didn't have, you know, a story behind them. And so I did that with her, and she didn't know years. You know, like, how would you remember? I know I wouldn't. So I'm trying to get ahead of that and help some future person in my family who'll be like, I'd love to know when she did this or why. She had some really cool stories. Like there's a quilt that she made. It's appliqued horses, like really beautiful little horses. And her sister actually made those blocks, passed away. She took the blocks and made the quilt. Like that's amazing. We should know that it shouldn't just be like that quilt with horses. You want that part. So now I learned the lesson from her, hopefully, that I want to remember, you know, where I was or why I made it. So like on that mask quilt, I put, you know, I made it with panels and scraps because it's been a rough year and I wanted to just make do with what I had and kind of make the best out of a crummy situation. So that's what I did. I hope it makes sense later. I think it will. And then, yeah, that's all the things I finished. It's a lot, right? I told you. So much done, you guys. Ugh. And then I started more things. Because, you know, what else are you going to do? Can't just finish something. So I'll show you what first. Okay. This one's weird. I started cross stitching. I don't normally cross stitch. I do embroider. I like hand embroidery better. I don't know if you can see, like in that corner are a bunch of hoops of things that I've made. I think it's really pretty. It's a really neat project to take somewhere because it's so small. They're usually not expensive. You know, like floss is what, 20 cents for one of those colors. Oh, I used to love going to Joann's and like throw 50 of those in the cart. It's so good. I hope all of you are doing that. I know I do. But cross stitch. This project was so pretty that I wanted to, oh, sorry, I caught my yarn down here. Giant quilt. The project was so pretty that I had to start it. It'll probably take me 10 years to finish it, but I don't know. I think it's worth it. We'll see. It's a stitch along, which I didn't know existed. So like here's the whole piece. You see, and then they give you like clues, like this piece and this piece and this piece and that, and you put it all together to make your whole sampler. It's so pretty. Like they put dates in it or like a street name or initials of their family within the piece, which I really liked. I thought it was a neat, I don't know, little capsule of whatever of my family. So I wanted to start it and I did. I actually did. So here's the, can you see I did one of the clues? It turned out so pretty. I just need to, like, there's a couple leaves here and then you move on to the next clue. What slowed me down was I don't like the little houses on it. Do you see? They're like little salt box houses. So cute on this pattern, but I don't know, those aren't my houses, if that makes sense. Anybody else? Anybody else ever feel that way? They're not my houses. I don't want those houses. So I was trying to think of other patterns that I could put there. And so yeah, that slowed me down. I kind of stopped for a minute to make sure I knew what I wanted before I kept going, because there's nothing worse than taking it out. I don't even know how you would do that cross stitch. Yeah, let's not go there. So I think what I want to do is find, you know, I made those Selbu mittens. I don't know if I've shown them here. Maybe I can bring them next time. But they all have really, this area of, they're in Europe. They make special mittens that are like just unique to that area of the world. They're so unique that like each family has its own kind of pattern. You would know that based on who has what mitten. They're amazing art. But anyway, all the palms have patterns, you know, color work patterns. And I thought maybe just doing something in that area there that kind of mimicked that would A, combine my two loves, which is knitting and this piece, and would cover up the houses instead. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would that get rid of the house problem? I just feel like the houses are not my style, I guess. I don't have kind of that folk farmhouse thing going, but I like all these other patterns. So I was trying to make it mine in those little bits. Help me. What do you think should go there? Should I just suck it up and put houses? I even thought about drawing my own house, like trying to make my house. I think that's even worse idea, as I am not adept enough to make my house into a cross stitch pattern fitting into that panel. That seemed worse. That seemed like a worse idea. Oh. So yeah, if you have a better idea, please let me know, because I think I'll go down that route and we'll see what happens. I'm sure I won't pick it up for a year. It's gonna be, I'll just put a date at the bottom, like started in 2021 and finished in 2041. We'll have like grandkids' names on it. It'll be fun. I love long-term projects. I hope all of you start these things too and just have like a thing staring at you from over there. I do. I'll get to them. I'll get to them. God, stop pressuring me. Anyway, I started a sweater. It's been a while. This is like that sweater that I showed you, the blue one. I started that in the summer because I was having friends over and I got to a part where you could just kind of knit the body without thinking about it, which was perfect because who wants to be counting stitches or whatever when you're trying to laugh your butt off at your friend, which is what I spend my time doing. So I got it to a point where you could just knit on it, and then I set it down because apparently we're discovering a pattern that I just leave things sitting. I do go back and finish them. We've seen, right? You saw my finished things. But anyway, it'd been that long since I started a sweater, and I do like wearing the things that I knit. So I grabbed my favorite sweater that I have made. It's called the Turtle Dove. That is a free pattern by Espace Tricot. I found it on Ravelry, of course, just Turtle Dove. And the yarn used is Woolfolk Luft, L-U-F-T. And so it's like, let me see if I can show you. It's got like a tube with kind of fiber blown into it. And it makes such a really neat, kind of, can you see where you can see the tube kind of through it? It's this plummy color. I don't know if it's coming through here, but that's what color it is. The one I made originally was blue. I love it so much. It's like, it feels like a sweatshirt, but it looks very nice. It's got like a lot of extra ease in it, and it looks really just, it's an effortless thing to kind of throw on with jeans. It looks so nice. So I was like, well, I'm gonna make another one of those. They take no time at all because you're knitting them on giant needles. Let me see if I can see what size. 10.75. Huge needles. So it flies. I love it. Just got a few little increases here. I'm working on the, what's this part of the sweater? The yoke. I'm working on the yoke. And you split for sleeves like way down here. So all of that is just, it's gonna be great. I bet next time we talk, I have it finished. That is the hope. It's a quick knit, and it's a really simple sweater if you're trying to learn how to do, you know, sweater things. It's really nice. It has very short sleeves like towards the end, so you're not stuck making that long flipping sleeve, which is the worst part of any sweater, I swear. So it's really good. If that is a thing you're interested in, I'll link that pattern below. It's a great pattern, and I love the yarn. It is a bit more expensive, but you can get anything, you know, this is the same kind of weight and get this sweater. It's great. It's great. And then I also stopped and made, it's getting big. I bought an advent. It was so fun. I bought an advent of minis again. I don't know, I'm just really feeling them, and I'm feeling blankets. I'm making so many blankets, but they're really satisfying lately. I don't know why. Just do what makes you happy. So anyway, this advent was, can you see the sparkles? Let me see. Let me get my face out of the way. Can you see it has like tinsel in it? Oh, so pretty. They're princess themed. You know, Disney princesses. Why not? It seemed so fun. I'm so glad I bought it. They were each so neat. And I bought this, it's Purl Soho something. I forget the name. Posy. Very soft fingering weight. I really like this yarn. It comes in a ton of really fun colors. I just thought it'd be a neat way to use my advent, but make the stripes not so stark. You know, I didn't want it to be like that habitation throw, just a little softer and more fun. So, I don't know if you can see it. I'm like more than halfway done with this thing. Can you see it? It's so fun. Oh, I love it. It was going to be mine, just a little throw to sit around, but I don't know if it's going to be big enough. I just kind of wung it. Just cast on some stitches and started knitting. Maybe I should have added a pattern. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a very small throw, or if it's too small, I'm thinking a lucky niece that loves Disney princesses might need this blanket. Just so sparkly and fun. I don't know if you can see the sparkles, but oh, the yarn is so pretty. I love it. It's just been a fun thing to kind of knit on while, you know, you're listening on a business call or whatever. It's really nice to just sit around. I'm really into just knitting on a blanket and like not thinking too hard. I don't want to mess something up. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So you just got to do what makes you happy. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I am getting a sock machine that is coming soon. I got it for my birthday Christmas combo. Mine are really close together, so I ordered that as my present to me, and it's coming soon. They're making it in Germany. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good. You crank tubes and then you kind of cut that off and make socks and all kinds of things. I think it'll be socks. People call them sock machines. Oh, it'll be so good. Can't wait to show you guys, but I do have to learn that. So I'm kind of like reserving my mental energies to figure out how the heck to crank a sock tube. But I have like a lot of pretty little skeins over there waiting. They're gonna make such neat tubes. Can't wait to show you guys. So hopefully next time I have some tubes. I don't know, or big tangled mess, and we can share the tale of how bad I am at making tubes. That's it for the knitting world of Katie at the moment. I did, last fall, I bought some fabric. I have been stalking this woman for probably a year. I don't know. She ice dyes fabric. Her name is Dust and Waves Textile. So beautiful. She makes like tote bags and robes and sweatshirts, and randomly sometimes she'll make a few bits of fabric like cotton. They're so hard to get a hold of, and she doesn't make a lot of them because, you know, she's a single human person and it's a small business, and that's not her job to like make me whole bolts of this fabric. I wish that was her job. So good. So I just waited for like any update. I actually recorded long enough for the recording to stop. Guys, that's a first. Congratulations to us. I've yammered on enough for my camera to go, are you sure? Are you sure they still need to hear this? I think you do. So we hit record again. Oh, that's fun. That's how much crap I had to talk about. And there's still more. Ready? Anyway, back to this fabric. She had moved and done like all these things and wasn't dyeing fabric, and finally she had an update. I set an alarm and I stood at my computer like some weirdo waiting for that time to hit, and I got my fabric. I'm so happy. So I'll show it to you. Ready? She, again, It's like tie-dye ice dyeing, where you put the ice on top of the fabric and you like sprinkle the dyes. It melts and like pulls the dye through the fabric. Gorgeous. I wonder how easy this is to do myself. I don't know, but it was really fun to buy from her. You should look her up. If nothing else, she just has really pretty photos on her Instagram because she makes beautiful things. So anyway, bam! Look at this fabric, you guys. Oh, it's so pretty. That's the fabric. So I got, I think, 4 yards of this maybe. Again, she only does little half yards here. So like this was one thing and she only makes 6 or 7 of those. Oh, I was having a panic attack. Like, will I get enough to actually make anything with it? I did. It was okay, guys. It all worked out. So when I did get that, I was like, well, I don't have as much as I want. So I got a second color. And this is the other one. I think it's close enough to kind of blend nicely, but it's not the same. Oh, it's so pretty. Isn't she so talented? I love this. I don't know why, it just makes me really happy. So I've had this fabric, like I said, and I just kept thinking about what I wanted to do with it. I want it to be really special. You know, I did wait for this fabric. I want to make something out of it that made it worth it. You know, that she put her work into this fabric. I think it is beautiful. So I want to make something really interesting out of it, I guess. I want it to be kind of worthy of what I bought. So I waited and looked through all of my quilting books like a crazy person, just like, you know, putting post-its on 4 patterns a book, trying to figure out what I wanted. Oh. But anyway, I think I settled on another log cabin quilt. I guess this will be the second one I've made. I never had made one previous to that mask one I made. It was so fun to do that, and I think it will really work well with these 2 colors. I want them to be the dark half of the block, and then the light half of the block I'm just using, you know, assorted solid light colors. And it's gonna make like this really interesting, I hope, pattern on the top. It is gonna be a king size quilt again. Apparently I think my bed needs more quilts. I haven't really made anything that big in a while, so finishing this quilt up kind of got me, I guess, in the mood to make more things for my own bed, because king size quilt on your home machine is a task. You know, it definitely got my shoulders tired pushing it through there, but it is possible. You just have to kind of be smart about it, and you have to want it enough, I guess, to finagle all that fabric. But I do have a really nice machine with tons of space kind of under that arm there, so we make it work, and it does work. So don't let anyone tell you you can't make something on your home machine. You totally can. Ask me if you need tips, let me know. I definitely had very tiny machines and made this work. You can too. So we'll figure it out together, right? But yeah, that's what I'm gonna make. I'm so excited. I think I'm gonna start cutting it up today, because I went yesterday to the quilt store and got like all my solids. It was really hard to find what I wanted the back to be, because I don't, like, no one makes this. So what do you put on the back of a quilt with this on it? I don't know. I came up with, what did I grab? That's gonna be like, here's a border. I don't, it's just a pile over there. This is the back. I think it'll work. I just kind of had to find something that was big enough. You need like 9 yards for the back. Oh, giant quilts, you guys. Here, I'll show you one. Here's all my lights. See, they're all like set up and ready for me to chop into them. That will be next. It'll be fun. And then the center is going to be yellow. Like I said, it is tradition for them to be yellow or red, and I thought yellow would really pop against all this purpley goodness. So we'll see. I'm feeling very clever. It is the first time in a long time that I've made something not from a bundle. Being kind of out in the middle of nowhere, I got into the habit of just buying bundles. You know, like, I love that quilt, and they'll send the same fabrics and you make that quilt, which is wonderful. I mean, one, it's a great way to learn, because you know what it should look like, you know, so you can kind of get a feel for how like colors play together and how you want to kind of put things together in a block. It gives you a lot of good feel, I think, for what you want a finished quilt to look like, and I need that. I mean, I'm just guessing my way through all this. So yeah, I haven't really gone to a store and just picked out a pile of fabrics in a long time. And so that's what I did, and I hope they go together. I mean, how can you go wrong with this? Right? Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm glad she doesn't live close, because I'd just go knock on the door and be like, I need some more. Please give me some more. Like a dealer. I don't know why, I just love it. I made all my friends tie-dye this summer, because I was like, I need something tie-dye. Apparently, it's art. Look at this. So good. But anyway, that's what I'm gonna go do. While the house is quiet and it's disgusting outside, I'm gonna cut up some fabric for a quilt. Because that's exciting. Ah. Okay, so wish me luck. Look at this beauteousness. Hopefully I don't do it shame. I'm gonna go cut it up. It's gonna be good. I hope you guys are having a good winter. It's being awful here. There's like no good snow, it's just cold. Cold and barren and windy, but no snow. What's up, Indiana? Ugh. I haven't had a shovel once. It's weird. The boys are like playing it, the lightest blow of flurries. My boys are outside like, you know, they could have a snowball fight. It's so sad. I want them to have some piles. Like, come on. We're being cheated. I say this now and we're gonna get like a blizzard next week or something. And then I'll get back on and complain about that. So yeah, look forward to it. I've missed you guys, and yeah, I'll be back hopefully with more good things next time. So thanks for coming. Please comment or like or share. Those help so much. I do want to grow kind of who watches this. I'm so glad that you guys took some time and sat with me, and that this was a long one. Sorry, but I had so much to talk about. I love it. Okay, I gotta go. Wish me luck. Bye guys.